Genesee Charter Township is a suburb of Flint, Michigan, located just northeast of the city. We start the video at the Genesee County Fairgrounds. Yeah, holler at your boy. We're here to see the Swine and Pig Show. Yeah, just kidding. It's actually a little bit late in the year for that. But if you're lucky, you can still see a Mountain Dew drinking hilljack or two around. So yes, anyway, Genesee Charter Township is where we are, just driving on some good old boy dirt roads out by the fairgrounds, but you know what, I wanted to say this. First off, I am a resident of Michigan, so I know about this story, and whenever I hear about Genesee Charter Township, there's always one thing that I think of. I'll mention it briefly, but it was something that happened here back in 2018. Late in that year, a local firefighter was arrested for legally flying his drone on the grounds of a Genesee County park, and I believe that he was a commercially licensed pilot as well, just like I am. And those of you who have followed my channel know that I'm someone that adds drone shots to my videos, and that's because I'm a commercially licensed drone pilot. Well, anyway, I'm often going places that I'm not familiar with and flying my drone. However, the one thing that I always make sure to do is understand the drone laws of the state or the area that I go to, because of this story. And for me, I've had the cops called on me in Jeffersonville, Indiana, which is just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky, as I'm assuming that a resident didn't like that I was flying my drone, which, by the way, I was flying it over the Ohio River, not over their house. Thankfully, there were no issues there, and the cop laughed it off, because it was nothing. But I've also been stopped by a security guard in Detroit when I was legally getting a shot of a church that likely won't be standing much longer. Anyway, the Detroit incident didn't go so well. The security guard ended up following me out of the area, and at that point it was just annoying. Security guards, they can't pull you over, so I wasn't worried about that. It was just annoying. But before I even started flying drones, I found this story of the guy who got arrested at the Mounds ORV park, and that park is directly to the right. All the guy was doing was filming an event of an off-road get-together thing that was going on, I believe, but the quote-unquote suspect was an overall law-abiding citizen that had a clean record, I'm pretty sure, and he was a firefighter, and he ended up suing Genesee County, and he won. And 4 years later, for whatever this is worth, here I was with my drone right along the shores of C.S. Mott Lake, not far from where he got arrested. Well, look at that. The lake's frozen over. I wonder if they would have arrested me if I tried ice skating. Well, you can even see the Flint skyline deep on the horizon. Alright, well, that's enough of that. Meanwhile, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like for the amazing insight, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as doing all of those things helps these videos destroy the evil monster that is the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. So if you're not from Michigan, a charter township in Michigan, briefly stated, is the closest thing to a city that you can get without being an actual city. Think of it as a census-designated place, or a CDP, as it would probably be in most states. What charter status does for a township in this state is it makes it nearly impossible for a city to annex the land within the township. In Michigan, you either live in a city or you live in a township, with how the land was surveyed throughout the state. However, sometimes if you're in one of these townships, your home or business might have an address of a nearby city. In the case of Genesee Charter Township, most homes are addressed to Genesee, Michigan. With that said, we're currently heading south on Genesee Road from Mount Morris Road, and on the right is a sign that says Genesee, as if you're entering a city, town, village, or an unincorporated place with that name, as that's usually the case when you see green signs like that on the side of the road. You don't see it on most maps, the village of Genesee that is, but this is where the original village of Geneseeville was located. Over time, the name changed to Genesee. But the village of Geneseeville was drawn out in 1858 by two men, Reuben McCreary and Simon King. A year later, in 1859, a post office was established, and there's not much else to mention about what was Geneseeville. Of course, once white flight hit Flint, this area began to suburbanize quite a bit, and today, you can think of this stretch along Genesee Road between Stanley Road and Mount Morris Road as the centralized area of the township, as you have several municipal government services located along this stretch of road. While I was talking, back then to the right we passed by Genesee High School, home of the Wolves. Niche.com ranks the high school as a C, so that could be a lot better. Along with the high school, you also have a junior high and an elementary school on the same grounds, and all three of those schools make up all of the schools within the Genesee School District. But yes, today you can think of Genesee Charter Township and pretty much every charter township in Michigan as a large, spread-out, suburbanized area, sometimes with a very low population density. And you'll often have patches of woods and maybe some farm fields with single-family residential subdivisions spread throughout, and that's what it's like in Genesee Charter Township. Genesee Township is one of several that surrounds the city of Flint. Others include Grand Blanc Charter Township, Mundy Charter Township, Flint Charter Township, and yes, that one is separate from the municipality of the city of Flint, but there's also Flushing Township and Mount Morris Charter Township, along with a few other decently populated townships that makes up the Flint metro area, which consists of all of Genesee County. And when you look at today's population of Flint, there's a population of only about 80,000. With that said, you wouldn't look at that and think of the Flint metro area or the Flint market as one that has a population of 400,000. That tells you that most people that live in the Flint area don't actually live in Flint. Well, anyway, the population of Genesee County continues to decline as the economy continues to struggle to find a way to reinvent itself, but anyway, other populated areas in the Midwest that are similar to the size of Flint would be Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Peoria, Illinois. It was actually quite a nice day when I came through. It was the day after a light snow, right before Thanksgiving, and the sun was out. Not bad. Well, let's take a look at the economic stats for Genesee Charter Township. It's really not that bad, but it's really not all that impressive either, unless you're comparing it to Flint. In that case, it is pretty impressive, as it's pretty much a night and day difference anywhere other than Beecher between Flint and the surrounding areas. Well, the population of Genesee Charter Township today is 20,500, which is down 1,000 from the 2010 census. The median household income is a low $48,000 per year, and only 10% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing units is very low, as it's $89,000, while the poverty rate is semi-decently high, as it's at 18%. So, not only is Genesee Charter Township quite a bit below average with the economic stats, but it's also below average for all of Genesee County, in which Genesee County is already below average. When it comes to the crime rates, Genesee Charter Township sees a slightly lower violent crime rate than the national average, so that's good. The property crime rate is quite a bit lower as well, and Niche.com ranks the public schools overall as a B-, so you could do worse. Although I wonder why the high school was rated as a C, yet the overall public schools are rated as a B. Maybe that's due to the fact that there's multiple school districts that cover the township. But yes, as you can see, Genesee Charter Township is a very spread out area, as here you have small single family homes on both sides of the road with pretty big yards, and behind the homes you have patches of woods. You also have streets that stretch out quite a ways and have similar types of homes off of them, and that's pretty much what the entire township looks like. Here is one of the random subdivisions scattered throughout the township and what pretty much all of them probably look like. And now we're back out on one of the main roads. This one in particular serves as a border between the townships of Richfield and Genesee. Richfield being much more rural than Genesee. To the right is Kersley High School, home of the Hornets. Niche.com ranks the school as a B-, so that's alright. It's a part of the Kersley School District, and the high school has a Flint address, even though it's located in Genesee Charter Township, and it's not a part of Flint Community Schools. Well, there's a lot of Genesee Charter Township that I didn't see, but that's okay because it's Genesee Charter Township, and if I were to have seen all corners of the township, that would have made for a very long video on a rather uninteresting place. So if you want to see more, I suppose you can click around for an hour or two on Google Street View and wait for 500 different screens to buffer in between. I mean, I've been told that clicking around on Google Street View gives you a more accurate representation of what an area looks like. So yeah, I mean, go ahead and click around and wait for 5 seconds in between each shot and have fun with that. Well, I do end the video here. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as doing all of those things helps these videos destroy the evil monster that is the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell and select yes so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. If you enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on this channel. Videos with amazing insights on other places like what you saw here can be found in my Flint playlist or in my Michigan playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace!